everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So we're closing in on 51% now. Don't think we'll reach that today, but yeah. I have 2 more sessions after this before the end of the month, so that's definitely doable this month. And I'm working on Peacock's wing. I've done a lot of the peahen's feathers, kind of right up to where her neck starts. And then, yeah, working on wings for the feathers from the peacock that are coming down towards her. So I am kind of stitching more diagonally today, as you can see. The colors are all going that way, so yeah, as I follow them, it just kind of naturally creates that shape. Yeah, I had some weird looking shapes last time because I was working on the peahen's feathers and they're like scales overlapping, so it was definitely not diagonal. You can see this clip up here is going to get in my way. Yeah, so still no snow here. It is unseasonably warm this late in the year. We should have snow by Christmas, although we had 1 year, the year my son was in preschool, yeah, we had none. But that's the only time we've had that since moved out to Alberta in 2004. So yeah, where I grew up on Vancouver Island, we got snow for Christmas maybe every 5 years, yeah. Except for 1 year, 96, that was the biggest snowfall that we'd ever had. We got 2 feet, which was unheard of on the island. And yeah, on the mainland, they got like 6, because my husband was, I think he had just graduated high school at the time. But anyway, yeah, they lived up in Hope, BC, which is up in the mountains. And yeah, so they got 6 feet of snow. He said it was funny because their dog could walk on top of it, but he still stayed within the perimeter of the yard, where she actually, even though like she could have just jumped over, right? But yeah, he said she was walking around looking into their 2nd story windows because fascinated that she could. Yeah, she'd never been able to do that before. So but yeah, usually where I grew up, we don't get snow, or if it does, it doesn't stick, or it turns into rain before you get a chance to to enjoy it. So yeah, I remember 1 year we did have snow that actually stuck around. It wasn't the 96, it was a little earlier. I was still in elementary school. Anyway, my parents didn't buy a sled, so my sister and I would slide down the sledding hill on our bellies, because yeah, we had these great big jackets like that went from your neck down past your knees. So yeah, we slid down them like penguins. Yeah, my husband said one time they were kids, they found their neighbor's saucer for sled, and they decided to take it down the hill when there wasn't any snow. Yeah, I totally wrecked it and then just kind of put it back, hoping nobody would notice. Oh, those turkeys. But yeah. But yeah, the leaves are all falling now. When I need to go drive somewhere, I gotta brush the ball off my windshield, because yeah, one of our backyard trees, when the wind blows the right way, they all end up on my windshield. So yeah, we said that tree won't die, and it's the one that doesn't produce any fruit, right? The one that produces fruit is the one that's dying. Yeah. because yeah, like we had some branches that got really long and in our way, so my husband cut them off, and like all this stuff he does to it because we don't care if that tree dies, and of course it just keeps hanging on. Yeah, I said all it does is make a bunch of leaves. Well, I mean, I suppose yes, it does make oxygen too. But yeah, that dying apple tree has been hanging on for a long time now. Yeah, we'll see, because year before last we got an absolutely insane crop, the most we'd ever had, almost 100 liters of concentrate juice. Then this last year was about 30 something, so yeah. It's inconsistent. Yeah, I am feeling better. I was under the weather for a while, but thankfully, yeah, I'm all better. I said I had one of those fevers that's so mild, like it won't show up on the thermometer, but just I could tell because everything I touched felt a little colder than it should, which meant I must be warmer, right? So, yeah. But yeah, I tend to, they said, I was reading an article recently that said that the standard 37 Celsius or 98.6 Fahrenheit temperature may actually not be correct, and that a lot of people run a little bit below that, around 36 degrees. And I thought, okay, so it's not just me, because yeah, I had times I would take my temperature and it was, yeah, low. And when I had a fever at like 37, of course it wouldn't show me as having a fever, even though I quite obviously did have one, you know. So I was thinking like maybe my thermometer is faulty, but like, yeah, I had it happen with multiple ones. And then, yeah, I read that. I was like, okay, so I wasn't imagining it. Yeah. They don't know if whether the original was just inaccurate or has it changed over time. They couldn't say, but yeah. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, still getting over that sleep deficit from that, so. Yeah, so got a lot of beige, browns, and kind of oranges here. Yeah, so I was visiting with my friend the other day, and her daughter came over too. Her young adult daughter. Yeah, she's a year older than, I think, a year or two older than my son. So she's finished with high school, and yeah, she was all showing off my cross stitch to her. And then she said, yeah, unfortunately, she was hoping to have hers done before the end of the year so she could take advantage of the Christmas sales for framing. But yeah, she said that's not gonna happen because she's got like 22,000 left. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like 3 months for me. If I was working on just that and not rotating other pieces in, then it would be 2 months, but yeah. And it'd be pretty tight, tight squeeze, yeah. So I said, oh, well, I guess you'll just have to finish it and then wait for another framing sale. But yeah, she did one. Actually, the first full coverage piece she did when she got back into cross stitch was the Lady Playing Sitar by Artisy. And she framed it with a red mat, which just looked so amazing. Yeah, because it was a piece with really vibrant colors, and it just brought it out and made it pop so good. Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I would have been bold enough to go for bright red mat around it for framing, but it totally worked. Yeah. Yeah, I never quite know what I'm going to frame mine with because I do the wall hangings. And so yeah, I usually have some idea in mind, some sort of like main color of the piece, but mostly it's I just take it with me to the fabric store and yeah, start pulling out bolts and comparing them, and whatever seems to catch my eye is what I end up doing. Yeah, it was kind of funny when I framed the Oriental triptych by Heaven and Earth Designs, and its main color is around, it's got like an actual stitched on border that's like a dark brown. And so yeah, the very first brown I pulled out of the the bolts, compared it, went, yep, this is perfect. I kind of went through and looked at some others just to see if anything fit better, but no, the first one I picked was the perfect fit. So yeah, I usually pay for the Fabricland membership because you get like 40% off a lot of fabrics, and I think 50% off your notions and things. And yeah, I find usually it's about equivalent, but I figure it's for a year, and that means if I have to buy anything else for the rest of the year, then I come out ahead. Otherwise I break even, so yeah, might as well. Yeah, it's like 25 bucks for a whole year, and I usually save at least 25 for one of these big projects for framing. So yeah, wasn't my original idea. I saw somebody who said they took theirs to a seamstress who turned it into like a wall hanging, and I thought, hey, I bet I could do that. Yeah, I haven't framed anything conventionally since. Like I said, I framed my blue dragon, and because it's on 14 count, it's huge, and my husband had to actually put special anchors on the frame and like reinforce it so that it won't fall down, because yeah, you don't want that happening. Because yeah, with the glass and stuff, they get pretty heavy. Yeah, I think it's more feasible when you stitch on higher counts, but my eyes do not like that. Okay, I thought that fell wrong. That got a little tiny knot in it. I hate when that happens. Okay, perfect. Pin stitch it far enough away that I don't have to worry about pulling the knot through this tiny little little opening here. So yeah, I'm kind of stitching down to where it changes, because blues start to come in because the peahen's neck is going to go this way. So I'm kind of filling in like a triangular shape, and then I'll move the whole thing over and start working on her neck. But I don't think that'll be this month. Yeah, I think that will have to wait until next month. So yeah, I'm going to try to sort of stay up near the top here for now, and then I will continue to stitch further down. Yeah, like I could stitch all the way along the swing feather, but yeah, I like to make a cutoff somewhere, just so I don't have too many live needles going at once. Yeah, so to get to 51% would be less than 300 stitches now. But yeah, I generally don't do that many in a session unless I'm working a huge block of the same color. That's not going to happen here. It's like stripes. Oh, goodness. That was weird. Oh my gosh. And then I pierced the fabric the wrong spot. Ugh. That is no good. Yes, let's try that again. Oh gosh, I did that the other day. And as I was trying to pull it back up, I managed to get my point of my needle between the fibers and actually broke the thread. Yeah. Like, whoops. Yeah, these needles that I use are a little sharper than standard tapestry needles, but I like that because I find it makes it easier to work the pin stitches, so yeah. Alrighty. I don't mind the snow, I was saying, but the only thing is I don't like driving in it. And I swear, after the first snowfall, there's a lot more accidents. It's like people have forgotten how to drive in it over the winter, so it stresses the heck out of me. Yeah. And people like to tailgate and stuff and try to make you drive as if the road is bare, which it is not. Yeah, I had one time I was driving to work and this guy was on my tail the whole time, and I was going the speed limit, you know. And anyway, we finally turned onto the street where it divided into two lanes. He pulls up beside me, tries to gun it. He just about fishtails into me, kind of stops and pulls back behind me. It's like, yeah, dude, I wasn't going the speed limit because, you know, just for the heck of it, or just under the speed limit, not by much. But it's like, yeah, that's because I didn't want to have an accident, which you almost did, and I would not have been happy if you had hit me. But yeah, the worst was one time I was driving and guy tailgated me for 3 kilometers when there was an empty passing lane the entire time. And again, I wasn't crawling, you know, but I wasn't going to speed because it was sheer ice. And then as I'm turning off to the right and he keeps going, just as I do that, then he lays on his horn like, yeah, big man, you know, real tough guy. You waited till I was leaving to be a, yeah, like, come on. Yeah. Like I said, like, why would you tailgate someone when there's an empty passing lane the whole way? Like, do you just enjoy being a jerk? Like, did they give you lessons or does it come naturally? Ooh. Yeah, where I live, we don't really have public transit. It's you drive or you take cabs. And I kind of miss it. Yeah. I said it was nice. I had to commute to work, was about 30 minutes away. So I got a lot of reading done on the bus. Yeah. Plus, yeah, I mean, it was sure nice. Like I said, you never have to worry about unexpected, you know, repairs cropping up or anything like that. Yeah. Plus, I did get some exercise too. Because, I mean, the bus stop wasn't right at my house, so yeah, that meant I was walking a bit, so. And when I quit that job to go to college, I definitely gained the freshman 15 because I went from a job where I was on my feet all day and yeah, to not. So yeah, it sure added up quick. All right, I'm gonna take a look at this color here. How long is this thread? Okay, that is a longer one. So yeah, I may decide to do that with one thread rather than adding another. So yeah, the length of the thread that I have attached is a big factor in whether I decide to attach another or not. Yeah, sometimes when they really branch off, I'll add another thread anyway, because I don't like to skip around back and forth across the back and waste a lot of thread. Yeah, I need to remember to buy a pumpkin soon so we can carve it for Halloween. Yeah, I remember elementary school, we had pumpkin carving contests, so the person I was paired up with, she was able to bring some old makeup from her mom at home. We put makeup on ours. We didn't win. I think we got an honorable mention, but yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I've seen some amazing ones that people do, especially the ones where they don't carve all the way through. They carve part way so that like it glows when you put the candle inside, which yeah, looks pretty neat. We did minion pumpkins like that one year. So my husband cut out the center for the eyes, and then the goggles were kind of like halfway through. Yeah, so that was fun. I saw a really fun one online. Somebody did Gru and the Minions, and the Gru one, they actually put it on his side and they used the stem as his nose. Yeah, and they put a little beret on him, and then yeah. And they actually painted the Minion ones. So, and put actual goggles on them. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, some people can get very creative with theirs. I saw one somebody did of Luigi's Mansion, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I am not that skilled. Mine are pretty basic. Yeah, plus the best part is the roasted pumpkin seeds, right? Yum. Yeah, the only thing is my jaw doesn't like me when I eat them. They're very chewy, and yeah. I definitely feel it. Okay, so actually I'm going to fill in some little ones along the edge here first before I do these bunch of the arrow ones. Yeah, it was funny. I had a video of our kiddo when he was 2, and Dad was carving the pumpkin, and he kept trying to help by putting the lid back on, even while he was like scooping the pumpkin guts out. Yeah. But yeah, Kim's like, well, there's a lid. It belongs on the object, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Yeah, and then my husband did some fun ones. He actually did one where he took the horn out of his truck and put it in the pumpkin, and with a button for its nose. And of course, people had no idea, so they pushed a button and right there. Yeah. And he carved it so it was like a yelling face. Yeah, so that was pretty funny. He won, yeah, his work. They did that, and he won that year. And he did one the next year. He made like a Borg pumpkin, and he used like circuit boards and lights and stuff. So yeah, that was fun. Okay. Oh dear. Which color is this from? I made the mistake of putting two very different or very similar colors next to each other, and now it's hard to tell which one this thread belongs to. Okay, I know what I'll do. I'll pull the whole thing out. Yeah, usually I'm very careful to separate them, but I guess I wasn't paying attention that time. Pull out the whole thing and see which one it matches. I think it's that one. Okay, let me pull out the other one. Yeah, 434 and 780 quite similar in shade. I made the mistake of putting them close together. Yeah, that is really hard to tell. Not smart of me. Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah, it's the 780, okay. Oh goodness, I hate when I do that. That was not good. Yeah, it doesn't quite match the 434, so it must be the 780. Oh, silly me. That is no good. Yeah, like I said, I'm usually more careful on my working tray. If colors are very similar, I put them far apart so that I can tell exactly which side it came from. But I was not careful that time. But yeah, it is 780. Okay. So yeah, I pulled out the whole big skein and kind of twist it together, and yeah, then you can tell which one it matches. Yeah, that was not very smart of me. I will instead put this one way over here. Yeah, I'm usually more careful when it's numbers that are really close together. Like I won't put 552 and 553 right next to each other because they're only one shade apart. But yeah, this was color numbers that are quite far apart numerically, but in the shade, they're very close. And I, like I said, was not paying it proper attention. Okay, that's really short, but I think I can get those 2 stitches out of it. Okay. So again, I'm gonna check what I already have attached. That's a long one. All right. Yeah, like I was smart enough here to put 918 and 919 farther apart from each other. Yeah, I'm gonna use 2 threads either way, just because of the way it is on my piece. If I end up with more thread attached than I need, that's fine. I'll just end one off and save the extra pieces. No problem. Yeah, fair number of threads attached here, but it's a little more orderly than last time, I think. At least to me, anyway. Okay, so yeah. All right, I may just pause. Yeah, I kind of get to the point where I kind of have to keep going further down to not close anything in. So instead, at that point, I decide I'll just pause at that point when I need to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do these 3. Along this side here, and then park it back up at the top and do the colors between, and then continue on with this thread. If I could actually stitch, that is. Oh dear. Oh, I tell you, I don't know what it was yesterday. I swear I was cursed. Yesterday or the day before, yeah, it just kept knotting up on me. I didn't do anything differently. I just did not have luck that day. do these properly, they all but disappear into the fabric. If you don't do them properly, then yeah, I was worried they might show through. So yeah, work downwards. Oh, what did I do? Am I looking in the wrong spot? Yes, I am. Okay, yeah, I almost went to the wrong grid line. And then went, wait a minute, things don't match. That's because, yeah, you're working in the wrong spot. Of course they won't match. Yeah, 2 threads parked there, but they were not the correct threads. Once again, they were in the wrong place in comparison to the grid line, so then I knew I was probably working in the wrong spot. Goodness. That piece will not mind its own business. Oh, well, actually, this is probably going to run out anyway. Oh my gosh, go away. I guess I should have stitched that one first. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is do these and these. And actually these as well. And then I'll stop because I don't want to close in that triangle one by doing everything around it. Plus, this piece is really short, so what I'm going to do instead is park it up here to do these 2 stitches that are off by themselves over there. Okay, I'm going to do this one next because for some reason it will not stay out of my way. I guess because it's shorter. I kind of can't finish it yet. 'Cause, yeah, I don't like stitching ones that are not connected to other existing stitches. Okay. So I may end up with the same issue, actually. Okay. So I'm gonna go a little further down and build my way back up again. Oh yeah, there's a lot, so might as well attach a full-length piece. Yeah, I guess I am working more skinny vertically than horizontally. That's just the way the colors are forming on this fabric here. So let's make sure I'm in the correct spot. Let's move that thread out of my way. Okay, so there. So I guess I am going to travel up and down this line a bit, even though I said I probably wasn't gonna. I lied. Oh, no, that came up wrong. Just realized. Yeah. Pierce the fabric with that one. Try that again. There we are. Yeah, I'll be excited to get to the peahen's neck. We'll get back into those really pretty blues, my favorite. But yeah, that's going to be next month. There, did all those so that I could do all 4 of these in one go without having to stop. Okay, and I did all those so that I can do all of those in one go. So yeah, I often say this is like putting together a puzzle for me. Oh dear. There we go. So I say I usually try not to leave gaps, but every now and then I end up with something like that. As long as it's not all 4, I don't sweat it. Okay, right, I remember I did that one up there by itself because it was about to run out. So this time I don't have to check what I have already attached because I know. I just recently stitched with it, so I already know. There we are. Okay, so once again, double checking that I'm in the right place relative to my grid lines. Like I said, my big reason for not leaving gaps is I find it a little easier to keep my stitches neat, but the big thing is that I don't miscount, because otherwise I will do that even with a grid. Yeah, when I used to stitch cross country, I made a lot more errors. Yeah, it was funny. There was someone in our group saying her husband watched her doing this, and he decided he wanted to try it too. And she's giving a tip saying, oh, you know, I like to keep a soft little toothbrush so that, you know, when I have to rip stuff out from making mistakes, and just gently brush the fuzzies away. He says, oh, I'm not going to make mistakes. It's like, oh, sure, honey. Okay. If you say so. But trust me, you will. We all do. We are not machines. Although it's funny, I say that, but I mean, even computers and stuff crash and get errors, so yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go back up to the top again. That's the reason why I'm not really leaving many needles threaded this time. It just kind of letting the threads sit there as I build up more, you know, horizontally before I continue traveling downwards. So. Oh, yeah. I knew that felt wrong. That is better. Yeah, if there's too much resistance on the needle, that usually means that I pierced it in the wrong spot. This is going to be a close one as to whether this thread will be enough to finish all of these. Oh, I think I might have just managed to pull it off. Haha. I love when it works out like that. Okay. 2, 3, 4. So yeah, if I can manage to get 3% done per month, then I will have it done in less than 2 years, be like another 18 months or so. So we will see. Yeah, so I did end up with more thread than I needed attached, but that is okay. I will just tie this one off and save these pieces for later. Although what I might actually do is, yeah, I'm going to park it over here because I just realized that it's within that inch. So I might as well. If it's further than an inch, then I end and restart because it uses more thread to carry it that far. But yeah, if it's within an inch, then I will do it. I know some people have different, there was one person I know who said if it was further than 3 stitches, they ended and restarted. And I have to admit, they showed the back of their work and it was very, very neat. But yeah, I'm not as concerned about that. So as long as it's not lumpy, I don't really care. I would say actually the backs look kind of neat, like some kind of abstract art. Yeah, whereas see, carrying all the way over there is getting to be further than an inch, so this time. And also this piece is short. Carried over to the stitches, it wouldn't be able to do all of those stitches either, so yeah, I would rather attach a new piece there that's long enough to do all of those stitches rather than piecemealing it out of a couple different ones. Okay. Okay, so I will probably end up with more than one thread in this area too. How much of this red am I using? Not a lot, but okay. not going to get anywhere near 200 this time because there's been a lot more color changes. Okay. Still no zeros, and yeah, like I said, I took a browse through and it doesn't look like I'm going to get any this pass, even for the colors that don't have very many stitches left. They're just kind of scattered throughout the piece. So yeah, so no zeros in the first half. We'll see how far it takes before we get to our first zero. I think it's going to be actually another couple of passes before that happens. Yeah, we're on the 5th now out of 9. So yeah, I think when I looked, it was like past 7 or 8 is when I will finally hit a 0. So yeah, it's still going to be quite a while before we reach that milestone. But hey, we reached 50% this month, so woohoo! I will celebrate that one. Yeah, tell people with these great big projects, you gotta celebrate your milestones along the way. Or you could get discouraged at how long it's taken. Yeah, these pieces are definitely a big time investment. Yeah, somebody said, you know, they get discouraged at how long something's going to take. They said, well, remember, that time is going to pass anyway, you know, so, yeah. Man, it's 5 years, but I mean, 5 years will eventually pass, so. These. Yes, back up to the top again. Yeah, now the sunlight has come up a little bit more. I can see that, yeah. I did determine correctly that this did belong to 780. It's harder to tell in artificial light, I find. Yeah. Well, I tend to like the warm amber. Oh, wait a minute. That is not right. Nope, I did that wrong. Yep. Yeah, I tend to like the warm amber glow. I find it easier on the eyes, but then that means it also, yeah, kind of alters the shade of the color because it's a orangey bulb. So yeah. There, that's better. That is correct. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Oh dear. Oh, you would do that right at the end, huh? Ah, darn it. I hate when that happens. Oh, come on, just let go. It's just a little knot. Oh, come on, don't make me rip all those stitches out. Come on, let go. Huh? No, you are just... Oh, I hate when it does this. Well, the knot is not huge. It should be able to work. Oh, no, that is... Yeah, that is not going to cooperate. I can see that now. Ah, you rotten thing. Which means this whole bunch I just put in is useless because the thread is too short for me to tie it off. Well. That makes me very not happy. Yeah, I didn't want to risk pulling any harder and distorting my fabric or my threads or stitches, so yeah, just not worth it. So that just means, yeah. Yeah, I hate when it knots right at the end, just when you're about to tie it off. But I mean, I guess it's more likely to do that because it gets more worn, right, by the end of getting pulled through the fabric that many times, so knots are more likely to happen than when it's a fresh piece of thread, so but yeah, it sure is frustrating. Because yeah, unfortunately, like it was there, the knot is usually close enough that it just, you'll have to rip out more to get enough to secure it, so you have to undo work that you already did, which nobody likes doing, right? Okay. So, but eventually we got her done. Okay, I have a thread part here, so yeah, nice little short one. So yeah, I usually like to stitch those first when I have a choice. Get them tied off and out of my way. So I was gonna say I thinned out the threads, but actually I mostly just shifted them further down. Yeah, I don't think I actually thinned it out. It just has the illusion of it because there's fewer up here, but they've just traveled downwards, or I've attached new ones further down. So yeah, I think we're ending up about the same. There we go. Make sure I remember to mark that these are done. 161. So thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.